Then next we have potency and resistance. So right here, this is very similar. This whole concept, all these concepts are very similar. Combat rating, armor penetration, and potency and resistance are no different. It's just, what do they affect? And right here, compared against enemy resistance to modify the duration of all harmful effects, your potency is 3 lower than the resistance of monsters in your level in the current activity, reducing durations by 1%. Against players, durations are reduced by 50%. There's a cap here because the amount of potency difference between a whale and a non-whale would make it to where if you feared someone or stunned someone, it would be forever. They would just be perma-stunned or perma-feared. So they don't have that. At least there's some kind of cap here built into the game to prevent people just having this massive disparity. But it's still very impactful, especially if you're trying to CC people. So here's the resistance. So this is going to be a check. If you have more potency than resistance. So here, let's actually go down to a lower difficulty, so we actually have the advantage here. Compared against your enemy resistance to modify the duration of all harmful effects, your potency is 136 higher than the resistance of monsters your level and the current activity and difficulty, increasing durations by 12%. When against players, you can gain up to 50%. So if I'm a massive whale, I had like 1500 potency, boom, I would have a 50% increase to all of my durations, for example. And that's insane, especially for classes unlike a demon hunter that actually has good seed. Like if I was a crusader, if I was a necromancer, there's so many classes out there that have crazy seed. A monk, for example, would be hilarious with a ton of potency over the enemy's resistance. Your resistance is 46 higher than the potency of monsters in your level, reducing the durations by 4%. Against players, durations are reduced by 35%. So here's another effect that I'm over the cap for this PvE threshold. So I'm going to reduce the durations. If I get feared by an enemy monster, 4% reduction in the time that I would have been feared or stunned or whatever, slowed. So these two stats, in my opinion, in PvE are nice, but they're not a priority. Not at all. In PvP, I would say they're a big priority, and you got to slow farm them. You can slow farm them as a free-to-play. You could whale out for them, but I just really don't think it's efficient, and they are very impactful, but the amount of money required to actually get a good amount of potency or a good amount of resistance is just not worth it at all. And eventually, over the long haul, you will be able to upgrade these things. Unlike legendary gems that you're just kind of SOL on against people that are willing to spend. So these two things for a PvE perspective